I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, people? How you doing? It is a great day, and I'm so very excited to be here. Listen to this. Weight loss, nutrition, weight loss. Did I say that enough? Like losing weight, like looking better, like we're going to be talking about that in a minute. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hey guys, it's Yaya Diamond of Dream Chasers Radio. And I want to thank you so much for subscribing to Yaya Diamond's Dream Chasers Radio right here on... What do you mean you haven't subscribed? Well, you need to go over there and subscribe to Yaya Diamond's Dream Chasers Radio. That's youtube.com/Dream Chasers Radio. Right there. Right there. Subscribe. Welcome back to the show. So today's episode is not only on the regular channel, but it's also on my health channel, as well as on a couple of other different stations that I haven't advertised yet, that we're actually setting up and getting done, because I believe that health is just an amazing way to live longer, live healthier, live better, feel better, do more, and accomplish more, even longer into your elderly age. Let me tell you something. The other day I was at a place and there was like a 90-year-old. She was celebrating her birthday. She had on a biker outfit. She had on leather. She looked great. And I was like, how old are you? She's like 90, and she's dancing circles around these 20-year-olds. That's what I'm talking about. And with our next product and the next guest, we're going to be talking about how he's doing that and how he has lost weight and feels better and got rid of arthritis and a whole bunch of different hosts of things. So I want to welcome Pastor Chuck Harvey to the show, as well as Robert to the show. Hey guys.
Hello.
So Robert, I want you to go first, because this is a product that you actually developed, and you know more than anybody on this panel today about what it's all about. So tell us.
In a nutshell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I can go on for hours on this one. The name of the product is Viprox, Viprox. And in a nutshell, it's just combination of trilogy of three different elements that are there to rebalance your whole organism. And a body in a state of balance has the intrinsic ability and desire to regain a state of health. Now, we do this going at the intracellular level. And that's very important, because if we look at, there are weight loss products out there, and this is not a weight loss product. That's a byproduct of what we did for Pastor Chuck when he's going to talk. I'll come back and explain. But the whole idea is we are going to answer three major elements to sustain life: the air you breathe, the water that you drink, and the food that you eat. Just imagine that we bring all three of these elements to peak performance. Then inevitably your body is going to go back like when you were young. You were vibrant, you had, your metabolism was working well. And the byproduct of all of this for Pastor Chuck and others is basically a weight loss solution. Now, the reason that we gave this protocol of use is because there are about 120 to 120 million Americans who suffer from type 2 diabetes. Now, that's a scary proposition. Take the children out of the equation. You're 360 million people, and you've got 100 to 120 million who have type 2 diabetes. Most of them are, for all intended and purpose, heavy set. So inevitably, what we have to offer plays two roles: the weight loss and then the immune rebalancing, which we'll address once you have asked Pastor Chuck for his testimonial. So that's in a nutshell what Viprox is.
Awesome. And Pastor,
Yes.
you never say anything, but I don't believe in mistakes. So, Doctor?
I received that. Yes, absolutely.
Pastor Chuck.
Doctor, so.
Welcome to the show. Okay, so tell us, how did you, and I know that Robert was talking about how things are working for you and your testimony, everything, but let's go back a little bit into the beginning of this whole thing and how you discovered this product.
Well, thank you, Yaya and Robert, for having me on, and I'd be glad to share my story. So about a little over a year ago, I came in contact with Robert through another organization that I'm a member of, and they had this product they were offering, and over time, I had been suffering from severe arthritis, the side effects of arthritis, to the degree that when I would get out of bed in the morning to get from the bed to the bathroom, which mind you is in the same room, it would take me literally about 90 seconds to get from the bed to the bathroom. The arthritis, the stiffness was so bad. And someone saw the condition I was in. They said, hey, you need to try this out. And it's a great product. Then I met Robert along the way. And you know how when you're overweight and you're kind of going through, everybody has a concoction. Everybody has something they want you to try.
Yeah.
And so I was as skeptical as anybody else, but I began to try it, Yaya, and I got to tell you what happened to me. So this is a 3-part component, as Robert mentioned. I began to take the 3 parts as prescribed, and I'm faithful. I take it, and in the second week, I got out of bed and then walked over to the bathroom like nothing happened, and got to go brush my teeth and get ready for the day. And I stopped and I realized, I said, hey, I don't have any pain. Or it's greatly diminished. I'm like, hey, this is all right. And so that's when I began to discover the power of something that you had mentioned, Yaya, is about getting healthy to lose weight and not losing weight to get healthy. And this is the Viprox. Actually, it was a great vehicle to help me, because I had started to lose weight, but it's a yo-yo like anything else. You go up and down, and this works, that doesn't work, or you plateau. And what happened was I would want to exercise, but because of the stiffness and the pain, I couldn't exercise. And so what happened is Viprox has given me back that ability, without having arthritis, the side effects from arthritis in the back, arthritis in the knees, and so on and so forth, to do a lot more than I was ever able to do. And let me stretch my testimony just a little further, and I'll be quiet. But I actually was diagnosed in 2000 and I think it was 2019 or 18 with bone-on-bone knees. And if anyone has ever had that condition before, it's like stabbing knives in the joints of your knees every time if you move the wrong way, or your knees pop all the time. If you've seen someone whose knees pop all the time, I had that, and part of that was obviously being exacerbated by me being overweight. But what had happened was, after I took the Viprox, one of the positive side effects, was after Viprox, I literally have zero pain in my knees right now. Zero, none. No,
Wow.
because all the inflammation and that is gone. So
that is amazing. So Robert, I mean, great testimony. I love it. But there is a technical side to this whole thing. Robert, what happened to Pastor?
I don't know.
You better know.
It was a fluke.
We're going to break it down in pieces, okay? First, the arthritis. The arthritis is in autoimmune hyperactivity, okay? And it's inflammation of the joints, obviously, and it is triggered by toxicity. One of the components of Viprox is called GSH complex. Now, GSH complex, if you go on PubMed, is backed by over now 160,000 medical articles.
Wow.
Peer-reviewed. So we're talking about something that's more scientific than any pharmaceutical product, or even, the example I give, ginseng is 6,000 years old, and it doesn't have the research that GSH has. So basically, what we do is we rebalance the immune system. Now, a lot of people say, I want to have boost my immune system, COVID-19, they're afraid and all of this. No, you want to balance the immune system, because if you have a condition like Pastor Chuck has, then obviously, should you boost your immune system, it would have made it more grave of a situation. So the immune system was there to basically get rid of the arthritic pain, okay? Then there's the toxicity aspect. Most disease are environmental. When I say disease, we have to understand each other. For all intent and purpose, for us, diseases don't exist. They're cellular dysfunction. Okay. And these cellular dysfunctions are at 96% environmental and 80% stress related. So in his case, he had a toxic, probably, environment. Now he lives in Ohio. Sorry, Pastor Chuck, but I have to give them statistics. They had a train derailment with the, vinyl oxide. It went up, and the government said, "Well, we're gonna just burn this stuff. It's not going to be toxic for anybody," except 44,000 pets and wildlife died in a 5-mile radius. So I don't know where they get the idea that toxicity will not affect a human being. And then a few years before, you had the Dow Chemical Company that dumped, PFOA, PFOS, carcinogens. And now lately they had another derailment where I don't remember what it was. Point in case is probably Pastor Chuck lives in a very toxic environment. And a lot of people don't understand this, especially women. If you can't lose weight, it's because your body has to produce fat to protect your brain from the toxicity that you have in your environment. Sorry. So till you detoxify, you will never be able to lose weight. And that's something that these weight loss products out there, and I'm not talking against them. There's a lot of good products out there, but they don't address the toxic environment. And that is the basis. Your body has to protect your brain. You're 80% fat in your brain. There's a reason for it, because they've had minute particles of toxicity. Then one day it's called Alzheimer's, Parkinson, dementia, brain fog at the beginning, or even it can go to worse than that, and it degenerates. So yeah. I believe that in his case, to answer your question properly, we detoxified his cellular structure, and it triggered the inert ability. And there's one thing though, Pastor Chuck is not, he's not tooting his own horn, but he was committed. That's very important. We gave the tools, but he was committed. Then we're going to take the fact that he says he can exercise. Part of our therapy is protein based. Protein builds your muscles. Muscles bring back your metabolism up. It actually starts eating away at the fat. It's all together. You understand?
I can testify to that.
Exactly. And then you've got the fact that we're a cellular regenerator. So his knees were bone on bone, but I want you to understand it's so powerful as a cellular regenerator that I'll give you just an example of myself. Many, many years ago, I was building up, my barn had fallen. So I've got 20-ton jack. And the pressure made it that I got it right in my forehead and split me right open. Now, I was 48 years old at the time. I'm 67. Went in the house backwards, told my wife, don't panic. And then when she saw me, obviously she panicked. We didn't go to the hospital. I basically put a Band-Aid with some of the same components as Pastor Chuck is using for the weight management aspect. Put it on there. 3 days later, it was rosy, and I don't even have a scar. Now, to show you the regenerative effect of this therapy, a few weeks ago, I cut my finger on a miter saw. It was wide open. Went to the hospital. They wanted me to wear a mask. I refused. So I walked out because they wouldn't take me because I wouldn't wear a mask. I only put my finger in this here that I'm drinking with the same GSH substrate one evening. And today I can show you that my finger is actually, I'm not losing my finger. When I went to hospital, I was afraid to lose a finger, and it's back and it's normal. And a lot of people ask me, well, how can that be? Your body is a beautiful machine if you give it the right substrates. When I say substrates, I want people to understand these are building blocks. They're called the fuel, the food that you eat. And when you do it properly, like in Pastor Chuck's, he was diligent in doing it, he got the result he was looking for. And then we're going to look at the arthritis that was in his system. We got rid of the inflammation. And all this is done by giving your body at a cellular structure. See, we go at the root cause of any dysfunction instead of being a Band-Aid solution. So in a nutshell, because I know I talk a lot and you got to just press on the off button sometimes, and I'm not a pastor. Imagine that, I'm not a pastor. But basically, I want your listeners to understand it is an all-encompassing formula that will rebalance your organism and give you results like Pastor Chuck just got. And that's just a minute fraction of what we can do for people.
Yeah,
Wow.
Could I interject something here as well?
Yeah.
Object.
You used the word substrate, and something that was very interesting, and I found that really helped me out along the way is there's, along with the GSH, it doesn't give you a license to, do whatever it is you want to, and get away with it, although you probably could abate a lot of those issues. But the other things that I was doing to help me along the way to lose weight, it actually accelerated those things, so in terms of, it does shift your appetite, but watching what I put in my body, watching your sugar level, those types of things, it really greatly accentuated that, to the degree that now I am, I'm sure you have the pictures, the photos, 120, as of this morning, 125 pounds from what I can tell, because the initial scale that I had only went up to 430. And when I stepped on it, it would give me an error message. That's how heavy I used to be. And now I was so happy when I got to 430, that the weight actually registered. But I'm so glad that along the way, Viprox came along and accelerated all the things that I was already doing or trying to do, and it's just like a catapult. So it's been a very wonderful product. Yeah.
Wonderful.
I think, sorry, can I just say something?
Yeah.
What people don't understand is we have a structured solution called Une Vie. In
Right.
French, Une Vie means one life. Now that's the gas pedal to lose weight. That's the gas pedal to excrete toxins. That's a gas pedal to bring nutrients into your cells. This people take for granted. If you went to Saudi Arabia, water is revered. Here we waste it. But imagine a structured water that can hydrate the interior of your cells up to 10 times more than drinking a glass of water, but then expedite the excretion of toxins. People say, why do you want things to be done so fast? Well, I don't, but let's just take Pastor Chuck and some of his friends that live in Ohio, and they got the vinyl oxide, and they breathe it in. And at one point, the vinyl oxide will turn into another component. There are two other components. If you don't excrete it before it gets to the inside of your cells, it will create damage to the point that it could actually trigger toxic reaction, and then it would be cancerous. So when I tell people, do you want things to happen faster or slower? There's no one person that tells me, I want to lose weight slowly, or I want to get better slowly. No, I want it to be expedient. In certain cases, like in what's happening in Ohio right now, it has to be expedient. Because I'll tell you what, in a 5-day period, 44,000 pets and wildlife died. That's pretty expedient. Can you imagine the cellular damage that was done to these animals? The problem is with the humans is that we will not know the damage of this derailment till a few years from now, when exponentially the number of people getting cancer, getting birth defects, getting sick, getting asthma, getting allergies will start peaking, and then they're going to say, well, we don't know what's the culprit.
Yeah, and the baby's being born deformed. Yeah, I know.
Exactly. So that's why I say that's the gas pedal. That is, and Pastor Chuck, I always have my bottle. I know when I was down there, he was always drinking, and guess what? At his size, he had to drink more than I did, because obviously it's a metabolic function. Yeah. So I pass it on to you again.
Now, Pastor Chuck, let me ask you this one question. How fast did the weight come off, and how fast did you actually start feeling better? I'm talking about past the walking part to the bathroom.
It took 2 weeks before the pain started diminishing to the degree where it was actually no, and I don't know if you know anyone who's suffered with arthritis. You just kind of get used to it. You raise your tolerance level until you just get used to every negative thing that happens to you. But I know it took about 2 weeks, and it just kind of occurred to me that this was happening. So it probably had happened gradually, and I hadn't noticed it. Right. And I hadn't noticed it. And then I just came to realize, hey, I'm walking, I have no pain. And then the knee pain went away probably about 30 days. Where it went away noticeably enough that and now I've been, maybe 8 or 9 months with zero pain in my knees. And I've actually tweaked my knee, and it didn't last long at all. I tweaked it, I twisted it the wrong way, and got pain just on something, doing it on my own. And it hasn't lingered for more than a day, not one day. And remind you, if I had done the same thing a year and a half ago, my knee would swell up to the size of a basketball or a large ball. And, I would be afraid to even touch it sometimes because it was that swollen.
Wow. So you inadvertently, averted 2 knee replacements.
Yes. Well, I wasn't going to get my knees. I actually went and got diagnosed, and they, for knee, injections or treatment or whatever they were doing. And they said, yes, your knees are bone on bone. You have one little tiny piece of cartilage. They showed the x-rays, and they said, well, we can inject the material into your knees and do that. And I just refused to do that. This is before I met Robert or tried Viprox. I just said, I'm not going to put that. I know who knows what the side effect of that's going to be. Robert talked about toxicity. So when you inject the material into your body, it's there and it's in your bloodstream or wherever. I just refused to do that. And Dr. Gautier concurs with another friend of mine that I was talking about things that run concurrent, who had said the exact same thing, that detoxifying your body is the foundation of all that you do. And so I listened to that friend, and then here comes Dr. Gautier along with Viprox, and it just shot things off. And but it didn't take a long time at all. I would say, 6 weeks. If someone was going to try Viprox, just invest in the very first treatment. I think it's 45 days or 6 weeks, and you will not be sorry. You will not be sorry. It can change your life, literally.
Wow. And not only are you taking this, but you introduced this to someone else. Am I correct?
Speaking to me?
Yes.
It took me by surprise there.
You introduced this to
your mother, I believe.
My mother. Yes, I have to tell you that story. You know what? Thank you, Robert. Because I actually have 2 similar testimonies to that. My mother-in-law, when I could get her to take it, my mother-in-law is she's 90 years old now. She'll be 90 in a few weeks. When last year she was 89, when she began, when I talked her into just take the enzyme pills in the water. That's all I could talk her into. She wouldn't take the powder. After about a week, my mother-in-law was skipping along. It was pretty funny to see her dancing and swaying, and she was bent over, shuffling her feet, and she was able to pick up her feet and dance. It was a lot of fun to see that as well.
That's wonderful.
And in the initial phase, when I found out the knee pain went away. This has been a year ago, probably about 11 months ago. I had a visitor to my home who we literally had to carry in the home. He was in so much pain, to our home. We carried him in. I said, listen, I heard this testimony from Robert, who said that he had a friend who had gout, and he would take the enzyme pills alone, several of those, chew on those, and then the gout will go away, and he go right back to what caused the gout in the first place, drinking. Robert can tell his own story. So I remembered that story, and I said, chew on these and let's see, I don't want to make you any promises, chew on these. Literally, we carried him in. We had to carry him with much labor because he's a pretty big guy, and he walked out. He walked out of our house. Unbelievable. And that was within 40 minutes. So that actually, so I can testify that actually is the truth.
Wow. Robert, you have a story.
Well, what it is, I'd like to comment on this because, most people think that natural products can't work that fast.
That's not true.
And it's not true. This is natural, it's water. And then when you drink it, you're hydrated. If you got bit by a snake, it's natural and you expect to die because it's a poison. So natural products do have biochemical reaction that start. The only difference in this case is we heal. We're not in the cure business. We leave that to big pharma. And the healing process is a process. And then when does your body decide to kick in? You know, Pastor Chuck, you know, the knee pain took a month, the arthritis took 2 weeks, or I don't, you know, I'm paraphrasing from what you said. Point in case is your body will decide when it's going to work. Now, I do have a story that goes along with Pastor Chuck. A few years back, I get a phone call from this lady, and she says, "Are you the man who invented this miracle product?" Let's say miracle product. She says, "Well, yes. My brother had prostate cancer. His oncologist told him to buy this stuff because in the province of Quebec, we sell this in health food stores and pharmacies and doctors, you understand? And his prostate cancer went away within a month of use. So we went on your website, we looked at the testimonials, and we decided to give it to my mother, 87 years old. So a bit like Chuck, she was in a wheelchair, hunched over, and this literally what she said, within a few days, she started getting up, and then she started singing and walking like if nothing had happened. So she says, "I have this, and that condition. Can you help me out?" So the obvious answer is, of course I can help you out. But then how come? That was her question. I said, it's very simple. Everything to us is a cellular dysfunction. It's not a disease. We take care of the cells take care of the tissue, and the tissue takes care of the dysfunctionality. And that's where we have a problem, because it sounds too good to be true. Your body is the healing agent with the help of the divine. And I'm not getting religious on anybody. I just want you understand there is energy in all of this. And basically what we're telling people is put the right things in your body, which is what we call Viprox, and just watch the miracle happen. That's basically, yeah.
It is amazing. Definitely amazing. So, you know, Pastor, what weight are you going to achieve?
Well, right now, as of this morning, I was down to 315. I'm, like I said, somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 or 125 pounds total lost. And my goal is 275-ish. I'm 6'5". I'm a big guy. But I want to say something to this, Yaya. That was happened to me a year ago, and this really gave me another push. I went to my doctor for my very last checkup, which I since no longer my doctor. Okay. She says to me, and she's a nice lady, I think she's very competent, but she said to me, I was at the time about 385 pounds, 380, something like that, pounds. And she says to me, you know, it's just, some people are just made to be big, or just going to be big. And
I got that too. That's not now.
Yeah. I didn't say anything to her at the time, but that was discouraging, and that really pushed me forward into you know, just making my mind up that I didn't want to be this way. So I met you know, Dr. Robert, you know, and a few other doctors who guided me along the way. But without Viprox, I would not be, because the inflammation and the cellular regeneration that he's talking about is so important. And I will circle back around that someday when I'm like you, Yaya, and I give testimonials, I'm going to tell people about how important it is to be healthy, to lose weight, and not lose weight to be healthy. Because if you still have the toxins, it's just going to come right back around in a full circle, and you're going to revisit it again and again and again. But now I have the hope that not only we'll get together again someday, you know, when I'm at my goal, but not only will I do that, but I'll tell others about it as well, because there is the detoxifying your body. I'm fully convinced it is the way that you must approach permanent transition into better health. And I'm into my 60s now. I feel better now, Robert, than I did 20 when I got married 23 years ago. I'm actually a lower weight and in better physical condition than I was over 23 years ago when I married my lovely wife.
Oh,
if you recall, Pastor Chuck, when we first met, you had bought yourself a brand new zero turn mower, right, and you couldn't use it.
Somebody else had to help me up on it.
Yeah,
someone actually had to help me onto the zero turn.
Exactly.
I can hop up and down on it like nothing else. So yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
We were in a restaurant, and I remember because I had bought one too. And I felt bad because it's actually fun. I know I'm like a kid. People say I'm like a kid. It's actually fun to just go there. And then when you're finished, you see how nice you've cut your grass. You understand? So it's a pleasure of life. People say, oh, it's a chore. Not for me.
Yeah, quality of life is important. Yeah, we all know people who are our age, whatever that may be. I know you're 29, but in my Robert and I in our 60s, quality of life is important. I remember my wife, my son, who I saw photobombed us a little bit ago. They used to have to help me up off the couch, literally. My wife used to have to tie my tennis shoes for me. Tie my shoes for me. She's helped me along, and thank God for a wonderful, wonderful, wife, a gift from God. But it feels so good now not to have to depend upon other people to help you along with your health. And you actually can help other people now. So, and I don't want to be one of those guys who, you have to push around everywhere and be a burden on my family.
Yeah.
Now, what size shoes do you wear?
I wear 13s, and depending on the shoes, and if it's a narrow tip, I like dress shoes, Robert. So I know Christmas is coming around. My birthday's in July. If it's a narrow tip shoe, 14.
All right.
Wow.
I got the message.
Yeah, right. Let me tell you something. You said earlier that one day you'll be able to tell others. You are telling others. Today is the one day. It's today.
Yes.
And also, I mean, I love the fact that what you've done is you've implemented this into your diet, but you've also changed a few things to actually aid with the process of it all, and it sped it up. I mean, have you ever been diagnosed with diabetes, or is there like sugar issues, or have you lowered that?
I'm glad you asked that question. I was diagnosed as being pre-diabetic several years ago. I didn't have diabetes, but you can't see it now, but if you've seen people who have diabetes, sometimes their face will get a dark patch here from whatever the side effect from that. It had dark patches on my face. My legs were swollen up very large. And I want to say this. I don't believe in dispensing away with. I still have a doctor. I still listen to their advice, and in working in accordance with my doctor, who now, like I told you, I fired the other one and got somebody who actually would listen and was open to naturopathic means and therapies. So I follow doctor's orders. And I'm looking for. I'm actually coming to the tail end where I believe that soon I'll be able to be off of the high blood pressure medication I'm on, which is awesome. I don't take it kind of like I should, but my blood pressure is good, doing well. So one day I'll be free from pretty much any kind of chemical or any other thing that's aside from Viprox. And I'm weaning myself off of that anyway. So I'm really grateful for Robert and the journey that he's helped us to get on. And I believe that if anyone would just take the opportunity to give it a try, I believe there's no. I've watched it happen in front of my eyes, short term, personally, and in long term effects. I've seen it happen. When you work from the cellular level up, becoming healthy to lose weight and improve the quality of your life, there is, I just think there's no way you can lose with Viprox. And thank you, Robert. Thank you very much.
It's actually humbling to hear you talk and say thanks. But I'll tell you, the reward I get is people like you. Just to get people to get have a quality of life. But I would like to go in the same line of thinking of what you're saying. For those who are listening on the line, we guarantee results. If people don't see, and I had told you at the beginning, if you remember, if you don't get an undeniable result within 1 month of use, no fear, we'll give you back your money, no questions asked. And this is a blanket statement that we stand by. And I want all your listeners, Yaya, to understand that there's no fear of loss here. There's only a quality of life to gain. That's all they have, a quality of life.
Quality of life.
Definitely. And we're going to have the link for Viprox in the description box below. So that way you guys can go ahead and check that out for yourselves, as well as a blog link so that you can go and read more about Viprox and what it does and all the properties and everything in it, so that way you can be clear as to what you're doing and what you're putting into your body. But I mean, literally speaking, if you want to detox, if you want to feel better, if you want to lose weight, if you want to go ahead and just start that journey, don't wait. Don't wait. Do it now. Just go ahead and start. It's better to start slow and then kind of build it up, because some of us are procrastinators. Hello, but I mean, start it. Don't wait. Pastor, thank you so much for being on the show. And like you, I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic. So I actually started Viprox and it really did jumpstart my weight loss. I've lost 15 pounds since I started, and I'm loving it. And I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't jumpstart with Viprox. So I want to thank you so much, guys.
Sorry, Yaya, just before we say goodbye, can you tell the audience what you called me one day about the stop sign, just for people to understand what cellular regeneration could do? Is that too much to ask, or
no? It's not. So I wear glasses. On my 40th birthday, I lost a little bit of my sight. And on my 50th birthday, hello, I'm 50 years old. It was like, okay, now you cannot see far away. Like, oh no. So I started taking Viprox, and there's like this eye wash that you actually use for your eyes. And I still use it. And literally speaking, sometimes I wear my glasses. If I forget them, it doesn't matter, because I could see the stop sign. Like, literally, it is clear. I could see it. Before, it was like blurry, and I knew it was a stop sign because it's red and white. It said stop, but it was like blurry. But now I can see far away. I can see close. It doesn't matter. I can even read better now. And I don't even need my reading glasses that much anymore. So with Viprox, they do have a little thing, and you just kind of, there's instructions, guys. There's instructions, and you just mix it up and you put it on your eyes. You let it sit and you blink and you let it get in there. And let me tell you something. Eyesight right back. I was so amazed. Oh yeah. I called him, Robert, I can see the stop sign.
Yeah, I know. I said, what are you talking about? Yeah, that's what you did.
You know something else?
Huh?
You know something else we forgot to mention?
What?
That Viprox does wonders for your skin. Makes your skin.
Oh my gosh,
doesn't it do wonders for your skin?
Oh yeah.
It makes you pretty.
It makes you pretty.
That's right.
See, I lied. I'm 106 years old.
I don't believe that, but okay.
It does make your skin look a lot better.
It does. And I have to say this, Robert, can I ask you how old you are?
67.
Okay. So I'm going to go there, guys, and forgive me, but black don't crack. You've heard of that, right? Black don't crack. You've heard of that? Where Black people age outside of their bodies a lot slower than because of the melanin in your skin. So literally speaking, Robert, you don't have much melanin. You look great. You don't even look that age. I'm just going to go ahead and go there.
Actually, I want to tell you something. I did a blog. I did a blog with this lady and with her husband, but she was listening and she bought the product because she says, well, with that skin, it's got to work, because we had told people, if you put on your skin and you follow our instruction, we're going to make your skin look 10 years younger within 1 month of use. So then she bought it just because she saw my skin. So I'm happy that I'm going to tell my wife that I said that.
Definitely. And okay, so there's just one question, Robert. What about people who have allergic reactions and can't take it internally? Can they put it on their skin? Can they do the eye wash? Can they take the tablets? Can they drink the water?
Okay, yes, they can, but we have to, we have to go a bit more in detail, because you're talking about, protein allergies. It's 1 person out of 1.5 million have the condition, and we discovered that after a while you have that condition.
I'm the 1.5 million.
Exactly.
I'm the 1.4. Was it 1,499,000? Was it 999? And I'm the one.
So, but that's
so
not.
I still use it though. I use it on my skin. I drink the water and I do the tablets, and I still do it on my eyes. I just can't do it internally because it gives me vertigo. But I literally, I say this. I took it for 3 weeks before it even did that. But the results that I got for 3 weeks was weight loss. I jump started. I didn't have any sugar cravings. My eyesight got better, my skin got better, my sugar lowered, so I do have that allergy, but I'll tell you one thing, the jump start on that, and then now the product on my skin and on my eyes, and then the water, you can't, I can't refute it. It is just amazing.
Yeah, so I just want to say that it is not lactose intolerance. Just for those who might say, oh my God, I can't take this. No, there's no lactose in the product. There's no.
It's not lactose intolerance, because I'm lactose intolerant too.
Any doctor will tell you that condition that you have is so rare that how come it would happen on you? I don't know, but we get to talk about it, so we're all right.
Yeah. But I doubt that out of 1.5 million people, I am the one, so you don't have to worry about it, guys.
There's 360 million people in the United States, but the odds are, no, they're not getting it. They know. Actually,
what is that? How many people was that? Is 7 people, 8 people?
Yeah, that's it. So
it's like, if you are one, please let me know, because I feel so alone in this. But the product is amazing, and it does what it says it's gonna do.
All right.
Yeah. So thank you, Pastor.
Oh, you are welcome. Thank you for having me, Yaya. Robert, thank you so much for the opportunity to share.
Definitely. Yeah. Robert, I'm sorry that I am that 1 million, whatever, that one person out of that, but I won't stop doing it on my eyes, because even though I can't ingest it, I can still take the tablets in the water, and I literally can still put that on my skin, which makes my skin like, woo, tight. I mean, that stuff is tight, boy. That'd be like, oh, you can't move, and then you can do the eyes. So definitely there is some benefit, even if you find that you are the 6 to 8 people in the United States that can't take it. It's terrible. I'm sorry, guys, but it is a wonderful product, and it does what it says it does. And I sent the product to Cuba, and so I'm waiting for results from him. He hasn't gone back to the doctor yet, from a family member in Cuba, but we're waiting for those results. So I will let you know as soon as possible.
You'll see. It'll work.
Definitely. All right. He's not the 1 million. He's not. He is definitely not. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to Dare to Be Different. We're going to have all of that information in the description box. I want to thank Pastor Chuck for being on the show. And Robert, thank you so much for being the developer and doing this, because you love people and you love healing. And I want to thank you.
Well, you're quite welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you guys. And until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified the next time that I upload. And don't forget to dare to be different. Until next time, guys. I dare to be different. I dare to be different.